Hello, my name is Kyle Smith, and this is my History 121 final exam project. In the clip you're about to see, I'll be interviewing my mother, Shamisha Smith, who grew up in the 1980s. Before we get into the clip, I would like to share some factual information regarding Black history and detrimental things that happened towards the Black community that was negative on them. During the year of 1980, from May 17th through the 20th, a riot erupted in Liberty City, Florida, after police officers acquitted of the murder of an unarmed black man. The Miami riot lasted 24 hours, and an estimated of 15 people were killed. The riot was considered the worst in U.S. history since the Detroit riots of 1967. Next, in a the crack versus heroin project that found racial disparities rooted in 1980s campaign against crack cocaine still persists today despite more compassionate rhetoric about the epoch crisis. Over the past 30 years, it was founded that black people were arrested far more frequently and punished more severely than white people for drug crimes, even though drug use within the two racial groups are roughly the same. President Richard Nixon initiated the war on drugs in 1971 in order to criminalize black people. Okay, so state your name, place of birth, and describe your childhood for me.
Shamisha Smith, May 6, 1982, and I was born in Marengo County, and I had a pretty awesome childhood life. It was just two of us, me and my brother, and my mom and dad both worked to take care of me and my brother, and I think they did a pretty awesome job doing it. We never wanted for nothing as kids. They always took care of what we needed, and we sometimes got what we wanted to. So it was pretty awesome.
Okay. My next question for you is going to be, how do you feel about equality?
How do I feel about it?
Mm-hmm.
Far as do is everyone should be treated fairly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm. To a certain point, I do feel like people are treated fairly, but in some cases they are not. So, for instance, I had a situation where I felt like I wasn't treated fairly, probably about 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
where I was tried to be made to take accountability for something that I didn't do versus a person of not the same color or race of me. And when I refused to do so, I had to make a decision to be fired or resign. So, in a lot of cases, it's not fair. And then in some cases, it is fair.
That's good. Okay. Um, do you think equality between races has evolved over time, or has it changed?
Hmm. Far as change, mm, maybe a little,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people that are in office are still racist,
Mm-hmm.
and they have behind their title, well, they get a title but they hide the racism, but when you see them outside of that title, they let it show.
Right.
That I really don't care for a certain race of people. I mean, take for instance our president. He wasn't our ex-president,
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump. It's just certain things people with common sense would know not to say
Right.
about a different race of people,
Mm-hmm.
whatever background they come from. But he would voice how he feel about Chinese people,
Mm-hmm.
African Americans, and wasn't much said or done.
Right.
Just like what happened at the Capitol. That wasn't fair. A lot of people lost their lives because they did not want to see him out of office or Joe Biden get in office, because we got to be honest about it. They wanted Trump in office because they felt like black people, Mexican, the minority of people would profit with Joe Biden being in office. Right. So they didn't want him out of office. I can think back to, like, white people were racist, and you knew they was racist, or they may not like black people or care, but they may do a little smile or whatever. But after he got in office, it showed.
It was open.
It was very open. So
I can agree.
So it really hasn't changed. It really hasn't changed.
Okay. I can agree to that, because I think as far as when it comes to politics, people do show their true colors, and it's really kind of sad that it takes somebody to be in power for somebody to show how they really feel about diversity in the next person because of their skin color.
Like, we live in a subdivision with, I would say, half and half. Half black, half white. In some cases, more white than black. And, like, they make phrases in the HOA group chat about kids that play basketball. It's okay for kids that are not black to put their goal in the road and play basketball.
Right.
But when the black kids at the front of the subdivision does it, it's a problem. Everybody want to be voicey about how they feel about the kids playing basketball. Oh, they're turning this subdivision into a ghetto. Why? Because they're black?
Right.
Because are the white kids turning it into a ghetto? They're playing too. Sometimes they're playing at the same time.
Right. Right. I definitely agree. Next question. How or what could today's world improve on, and what do you believe it takes to make that specifically happen?
I think everybody deserves a fair chance in life.
Okay.
I feel like everybody should be treated equal in life. A lot of people marched and died, went to jail, was beaten, so that black people can be treated fairly. And, I hate to use the white and black thing, but, I'm going to say it.
Right.
White people have to understand that black people have been done wrong. Also, we as black people have to understand, yes, some of us may have experienced racism or was done wrong by somebody of another color, which is not black, which is white or whatever. But we, or me, I can't say firsthand I was done wrong by somebody white. But, do I think it'll change? No.
Okay.
I think people will say that, oh, we're going to make a change or whatever. And, you may have a group of whites and black come together and say, oh, okay, well, we're making a change. But then, behind closed doors, it's still the same. Still the same talk. Still the same feelings towards one another. It's not going to change. Take, for example, that situation that happened in Montgomery with the black people and the white people. So, with that being said, and that being on TV the way it was, and a lot of people felt like black people was wrong about that situation.
They did.
And it's like, oh, they act like animals. Okay, well, you attacked them, so you acted like an animal.
Right.
But that ain't what you want to classify yourself as. But you classify black people as an animal.
It seems that when the opposite race causes the confrontation and is retaliated, it's not appreciating. It's as if it should be where it was back then, where they feel as if we should back down them because they feel they're superior to the black race.
Right. And a lot of white people, they feel like they're supposed to be privileged. And that's not the case.
It's not.
Not gonna say all, but
No.
some.
But some.
They feel like they should be privileged.
Right.
And it's not right. And to be honest, if they feel like you're more intelligent than them and you work in the same setting as them, they're gonna, no matter how much they dislike each other, they're gonna come together to make sure that they get that one black person that they feel like is knowledgeable than they are or the same. So I don't feel like it will change.
Okay.
But I do feel like we as black people have to stick together more.
Exactly.
If we can do that, we can make a change.
Right.
For ourselves, if it's not with the other race.
Exactly.
Once we come together and start to be able to make a change as
a whole,
African American or whatever, or however we identify ourselves as black people, then the change will start for us.
Right.
But when we keep trying to pull each other down to get to the top, and a lot of black people try to pull another black person down just so they can get in the good grace of white people. And that's just not the way.
That's not
the way.
Right. I definitely agree with your statement. It's very truthful. My last question for you for this interview is, what are your wants and desires for the future of the people?
Not just blacks, not just whites. Like I said, we as black people need to start sticking together, but for all people to be treated fairly. For, you to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that's white and not feel like you're going to say something to offend them or they say something to offend you. Because I talk to all different race of people. And, when I'm black and they talking to you and they want to say something, they try to make sure that they don't step on your toes by saying, well, I don't want to call you black. Well, I am black.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be black.
Right.
So I'm not offended by that. But, like I said, for all people to be able to come together, to get along with one another, and live without having any type of problems.
Right.
Or feel like I'm not being treated fairly because I'm black. Or I'm not being treated fairly because I'm white. Because, a lot of white people, not a lot, but some white people, when another white person feel like they don't have as much as they have, then, okay, but they're just like another black person to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed this interview with you. I think you gave some great insights on your opinions. I feel like they were very clear and understanding, and it's very well. You explained yourself very well. These will be like my pauses between each clip, so. Now that you've watched the interview, I hope that you have some lingering thoughts on what you've heard and the things that you possibly learned. I thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.